Hey, what up? This is Rama Screen here at another year of Santa Barbara International Film Festival. I come here every year and love it. And I'm here to interview director Vanessa about her film Angel Face. How's it going?
I'm fine, and just I just arrived yesterday night in Santa Barbara, so it was a long trip because I come from Paris, and it's the first time I'm gonna show my feature movie in United States. So I have to say that I'm quite moved and uh, and anxious in the same way to know how Americans are gonna react. So this is tonight, and it's gonna be like an exchange with the audience. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah, let's start with that because I noticed the movie came out at Cannes, right, last year, and it went through festival circuits, and now it's arriving in the US. How does that feel here at Santa Barbara, bringing to the US viewers or watchers?
It's huge because it's like it was like a dream first to go to Cannes. It's your first movie, and I can remind of the day it's been selected, and I've heard that great news, and I was like, "Wow, is this really happening?" That was like very, very, very intense moment in Cannes, showing the movie. It was the first time I was showing that, and now that it's coming to United States, to me it's unbelievable. It sounds like a child dream.
Oscar winner, Oscar winner Marion Cotillard, on your first directorial debut. How did you get a caliber actress like her to get on board and agree to do your project?
In fact, the truth is that my producers asked me, "Who would you dream of to play Marlene in your movie?" And I said, "Okay, don't laugh, but my dream will be Marion Cotillard." But I know she doesn't do first movies and everything, and she's such a big star, so that it's like. And they said, "We can try. We can send the script. Who knows?" And the fact is, the agent of Marion, who became my agent then, read the script and was really moved and touched by the story. And he convinced Marion to read it very quickly. And she read it, and she was really moved by the story and by the character of Marlene. And she asked to meet me. And so we met each other. I just knew her like an immense actress, but I didn't know her in a personal way. And I was a bit scared. I can remind of that. I was like, wow, is this going to be real? And the moment I met her was like magical because she really understood the character, but in a very, very human way, because Marion is a wonderful actress, but she's such a nice person. Really, she's someone who goes into essential. I don't know if it's correct, but she's really someone who is always in the truth. And at the time she says, "Okay, I'm gonna make it," she gives everything. She's really generous, and she has a like a emotional intelligence, which is very, very, very precious. So that was wonderful.
Oh, I bet, I bet. So, on that note as well, how do you direct an actress of such stature? Did you just let her run with it? And what are some of her contributions to her character? The fact that her character is blonde, is that Marion's idea?
No, it was mine. I had imagined Marlene with blonde hair and the way Marion is in the movie,
Okay.
but she had imagined also Marlene that way. So we were really connected together about the way Marlene should appear. So that was something very easy to communicate between us because we were talking a lot about emotions, and we were really, really connected. And at the beginning, I was scared. I told myself, how am I going to do? Because she worked with so many talented directors. How I'm gonna, feel um, and she's someone so so human that I think she understood that, and she made me feel comfortable about directing her. She helped me like with a few words, a few intentions to make me feel free about the way I wanted to direct her. And she's at the moment she understands the direction. I mean, the character, the way I imagine it. She she just like always yes, generous. She's completely into that. And yeah, that was wonderful, really wonderful. It's very impressive because Marion, when she arrives on the set, she's so concentrated that there's a kind of carnal tension. She she arrives on the set and she's already like the character. She's well, everyone was like fascinated by her because each time we make a scene, it's never the same thing. She's into such a big emotions that she's I don't know, she's always surprising, in fact.
I love that. And equally outstanding is the performance of Eileen in the role of Ellie. I saw the movie last night and was just stunned by her performance. And the fact of the matter is that the character Ellie, she has, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, she has grown-up desires and longings too. It's like, she's not, she's like an old soul, so to speak. Can you talk a bit about a lot of directors have different experiences working with child actors. How was your experience with Eileen and in developing Ellie?
First of all, it's been very, very long to find her. We spent like a few months casting a lot of children, and it was really at the end of the casting session we met her, and I was quite worried because my producer were telling me that if we were not finding the right Ellie, we were gonna cancel the shooting and the movie because she's so important in the movie. And Eileen arrives at the casting, and something like obvious happened. She was my Ellie, which was very, very complicated to describe because I had imagined a little girl, with a strong personality, with a way to observe people, but shiny, but deep. It's something very subjective. And Eileen had all those things, but she had something more. She had um, a very, very strong independent character, and she gave her strength to Ellie. I wanted to catch also to meet a little girl who had a complete different life from my character, you know, not to put her in danger of anything. This was really important to me. And Eileen in life is a very joyful little girl. She's an artist. Her parents were always on the set, taking care of her too, and that was really wonderful because she was 8 years old on the set, like the character, and she was really able to understand the emotions which were necessary to go into the character, to feel it. And she was able of a very, very mature empathy, which is very rare, rare, precious. I mean, not so usual for a child of that age. So I have to say that she was like it was not complicated to work with her because she's very, very special. And also, what was funny too is that she was really in love with Marion. She was really and truly fascinated by her, which gave things into the movie because the story of the movie is also a little girl who is fascinated by her mother. So that helped that. But she was, um, looking at Marion so concentrated, so she was doing the same thing. And sometimes she says Marion having a break in a way, so she was doing exactly the same thing. But like nobody could get, yes, and she was asking a lot of questions to Marion. That was really nice.
Now, to the story itself, audiences, when they watch this movie, they might easily judge or dismiss Marlon as this character who, is a bad mom, and bad parent. So, in your writing the script and creating the character, how do you make sure that she doesn't come across too much as a villain, but also a tragic but empathetic character?
That's a very interesting question because this is something, a point I really had to fight with when people were judging that character. There's something that was really hurting me because I'm not apologizing her, but this is not the case of the movie. The case, I mean, the intention was to understand and to feel how deep is her suffering. Um, she's something that moves me from Marlene in that she's really missing landmarks. She doesn't have the weapons to find a place in this world. And I think she doesn't love herself enough to be able to welcome happiness and to love enough and taking care of a child. Uh, but she's not a bad mother. She's someone who is lost in her own life and who doesn't have hope enough to make things change. And at the end of the movie, and I think that's something that the audience will feel, is that she deeply understands something, and the fact she was nearly um, losing her own daughter, who is more important than everything.
That's beautiful. May I ask, what is the inspiration behind this story? Where did you?
I think the inspiration is a deep emergency to talk about those feelings of insecurity, of abandonment, of addiction too. Um, but this is a fiction, but it's resonates in a very very personal way. I think I had to fight against an irrational fear uh, of uh, of abandonment, which is a fear a lot of people have, even if they have parents, if they are lucky or anything. It's something that you can't control, and but that can make you uh, being dependent of love in your life, and all those feelings make me feel the emergency to write it. And then I met a lot of people and persons from psychologic community, psychiatrics, people who were ex-alcoholics, like the AA, and who gave me snatches of their own stories. And a lot of stories look like this one, in fact. But I wanted to say Ellie's stories.
Your movie has a lot of poetic elements to it. Whispers, like Ellie with the poems. Like, can you talk a bit about why did you use that approach or that style, poetry?
Um, I think first poetry doesn't exclude realism, but the movie is mostly about the point of view of this little girl who is 8 years old. And to me, it was important to see the way she sees the world, in fact, and the way she sees her mother, who is always beautiful in the eyes. She doesn't even realize what are the consequences of alcohol in Marlene's life. So I wanted to make appear all the universe of the childhood, because in fact Ellie wishes she could be and could have a normal life. So she has like dreams of her age, but she has to grow up faster. So even the point of view of the little girl is progressively changing all along the movie, you know. But it was important to me to catch this element of poetry, which could translate her point of view.
I love that. That's one of my favorite parts of the movie. That style, that approach. As I'm winding down to my final questions, I gotta ask: is it still an uphill battle in this industry for female directors such as yourself in getting your project off the ground and stuff?
I think it's very important that today women talk more, and and I think we're not enough. We're still not enough female directors to represent cinema, and this is very important. And I think it's things are changing and evoluting, evoluting, yeah. But I don't know how things are gonna really change. But I guess that this movie, to me, in this particular case, I think if Marlin was a man, um, people wouldn't have judged so cruelly
Is that
the
true?
character. You know, I think we have. If it was a father leaving his young daughter, would have said that he was lost, and because it's a woman, we say it's a bad mother, and some people have been shocked. Which, you know, I'm not judging the people who say that, but don't judge his character, you know. So. So I think, yeah, I think it's an important battle anyway, um, that we get that we are more and more female directors.
Now that you've got Marion Cotillard in the bag, here's a fun question: which other A-list actors out there that you would love to work with someday? Do you have a list?
Yeah, I wish I could work with so if you know Joaquin Phoenix,
Okay.
I love him. I also love Bradley Cooper.
Oh,
Um, but there are so many. I think I love Glenn Close too. I'm not just saying that because she's coming to the festival, but I think she's a really a wonderful actress. There are so many. I wish I could work with maybe one day. Jessica Chastain too is really wonderful.
it's out there in the universe now. Your wish list is out there in the universe.
Mhm.
Now, my final question is a two-parter. What are your next projects? And if you can give some advice for aspiring filmmakers out there, what do you think they need to look out for?
My next project is a psychologic thriller. So very different from Angel Face. Because it's a movie talking about desire and about um, 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 woman sexuality too. It's like a passional drama mixing with thriller, in fact, and a very complicated love story. I'm really excited about this movie, so I'm just finishing writing actually, and hopefully we'll be shooting before the end of the year. That would be great. And if I had an advice for people who would like to be filmmakers, for instance, um, I would say obviously that never give up. If only if it's it's resonating in a very personal way, and if it's for you a need, you know, but really need to achieve it. And because it's going to be a long battle, but you can go through this battle and win this battle only if it's something you can't give up because it's your need, and to accept too that doing something very close to you sometimes can be liked or not with for people. But if it's personal, it doesn't matter. Go through. Keep your way.
Well, Vanessa, thank you for talking to me.
Thank you.
Congratulations on Angel Face.